last time we shared the good news with everybody that the Corporate Transparency Act, for now at least, has been there's a temporary injunction so that people don't have to comply with this, and pending kind of a final ruling, which will hopefully take place sometime early next year. But the interesting thing about this Corporate Transparency Act, so this is the thing they said: if you go out and you form a Delaware LLC for your small business, or family investments or something like that, now you've got to go and you've got to file this new form to an agency within the Treasury Department called FinCEN. Well, FinCEN, FINCEN, stands for the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, as if it's some kind of a fucking crime to own a company in the United States of America. Now, it's just crazy. The reality is that you already send that information to the IRS every year. If you have an LLC, you file Form 1065 and say, basically, here's all the K1s, here's all the investors in this, all the owners and members of this LLC. Well, God forbid FinCEN goes to the IRS and gets that data, and IRS says, oh yeah, we already have all that data. No, they just put the onus on the taxpayer to say you have to provide the exact same information, but in a different format on a separate form to FinCEN. And if you don't do it, then you get to go to prison for 2 years. And this is actually what the law says. And it's one of these things where the basis for this is they say, well, there's too much money laundering going on in America. And people use these corporations and LLCs to launder money. And so, we need to know who owns these companies. And so by that acknowledgement, it's like, well, wait a minute, there's already so many anti-money laundering rules and regulations and laws that are already on the books. And so what you're basically saying is none of that shit we've already done is working at all, because we still have this huge money laundering problem. But they never go back and say, geez, maybe we should get rid of all this other stuff, because there's a cost to it. There's a cost to compliance. There's a cost of having to stop what you're doing and go, oh shit, I got to file these forms. I got to get this data together. I got to spend money on this accountant. I got to spend money on this lawyer. I got all this stuff that's basically, it's just wasteful. It's wasteful. There's no actual productive value that goes into it. It's great if you're the lawyer, but I mean, there's no actual productive value that goes into this. And they never realize that. And so they keep all that stuff on the books, and they just keep adding more and more and more and more and more. And this is why, we talk about, like, it was so much easier if you wanted to start a business, 50 years ago, 100 years ago. You just did it because they didn't have any of these rules and regulations. What we have today is the product of almost 250 years of rules and regulations. And in that 250-year period, very few of them have actually been taken away. They just keep adding more and more